So first question. What is your favorite communicating method and why? We have social networking sites such as Facebook or Instagram, email, texting, the phone, online calls, or instant message. Think about this so we can share in class. Now, I need you to please pause this video, watch the other one I attached in Moodle, and answer this. What's the people's favorite communicating method? We have Jeff, Victoria, David, and Sarah. Once you finish, come back. Okay, great. Now, I need you to watch the previous video again and decide if these sentences are true or if they are false. Once you finish, come back. Remember, you have to have this before our class so we can all check together. Okay, great. Now let's continue. Let's go to student book page 13, exercise A. Here, you're going to find 4 sentences. With friends, he usually texts. Every once in a while, I instant message. My kids text all the time. When I travel, I normally use my laptop. Please find similar sentences to these ones in page 12. If you don't have your book, you can check the sentences in the video you saw. Pause the video while you work on this. Okay, let's go ahead and check. So for number 1, you should have found, with friends, he tends to text. Number 2, every once in a while, I'll instant message. Number 3, my kids are constantly texting. Number 4, when I am traveling, I normally use my laptop. So, now I want you to look at the sentences again. What are they expressing? We have 3 options. They are talking about things happening in the future. They are talking about habits. They are talking about one-time events. Pause the video if you need to. Once you have your answer, come back. So, if you notice, all of these sentences are talking about habits, which is today's topic. So, let's take a look at the structure and the use. First, we have this sentence. With friends, he tends to text. I need you to identify the structure, present continuous, simple present, will plus verb, or tend to verb. In this case, the structure is tend to plus verb. Now, what is the use of this? We're talking about habits in general, a habit that happens at the same time as another habit, or a habit that is very frequent. In this case, we use tend to plus another verb to talk about habits in general. Now, let's go ahead and continue. Look at this other sentence. Every once in a while, I'll instant message. Pause the video while you identify the structure and the use. So, if you notice here, we are using will plus verb, and we're talking about habits in general. Now, you know that usually we use will to talk about future. However, here it's a habit because we have the expression every once in a while. If you use a frequency expression such as always, usually, sometimes, and then will plus verb, then it becomes a habit and is not future. Now, let's continue. Look at this sentence. My kids are constantly texting. What's the structure and what's the use? Pause the video while you work on this. So, in this case, we are using present continuous. And we are using the present continuous to talk about habits when a habit is very frequent. If you notice, besides present continuous, we are using the word constantly. Now, for the last sentence, we have this. When I am traveling, I normally use my laptop. Identify the structures and the use. Here, if you notice, when I am traveling is present continuous. I normally use my laptop. we have simple present. In this case, we're talking about a habit that happens at the same time as another habit. Now, what you need to think here is that the one that you're going to use present continuous with is the main action, traveling. And using the laptop is not the main action. That's why we're using simple present. As you can see, you can also include frequency expressions, such as normally, generally, sometimes. Now let's go ahead and practice. Let's go to your workbook page 4, exercise B. Here, you need to circle the best option to complete the sentences. For example, how many times a day do you text your friends? Well, I am sending a reply whenever I get a message. In this case, the most logical answer is going to be, I will send. Now pause the video while you work on the rest, please. Now, let's go ahead and check. So, I don't know, maybe 20 or 30 times a day? Mostly, we make plans by text, but I tend to call if I want to have a real conversation or something. 2. How do you keep in touch with your family when you're away from home? Well, when I'm traveling, we try to video chat on the internet. That way we can talk for free. And we'll email too. I like to keep in touch. For conversation number 3, you should have you ever used the internet to find a friend? Yeah, I'm always searching online to see if I can find my old school friends. I'll find someone every once in a while. It's fun to see what they're doing now. Occasionally, I'll contact them, but I don't do it often. Do you have the same answers? Great job. Let's continue. Now, for homework, you need to work on exercise A. We're still in the workbook. We need to complete the sentences using the correct form of the verbs in parentheses. Let's do the first 2 together. My best friend can be really annoying. She constantly at her phone. Since we have the word constantly, should we use simple present, will plus verb, tend to plus verb, or present continuous? That's right, because we have the word constantly, we should have present continuous. She is constantly looking at her phone. When a movie, she checks her email all the time. What do you think the correct answer is? Yeah, it should be when we are watching a movie, she checks her email all the time. The main action would be watching the movie, and check the email is a secondary action. Now pause the video while you work on the rest. Okay, remember to have this ready before your class so we can all check together.